Hello everyone and welcome back to Mathematics with Usman. This is my second tutorial in the series on the topic linear inequalities. Students, when you are solving linear inequalities, there are certain rules that you need to master. You need to familiarize yourself with these rules so as to avoid any chances of losing marks in your exam. So objective for today's lesson are: number 1, why sometimes we need to reverse the signs of inequalities. What does that mean? It means that sometimes we have to change the sign greater than with the sign smaller than. To illustrate that, let us consider certain examples in the linear inequalities. Let us consider a number 6 is greater than 2. Remember this symbol, it represents greater than. If I draw them on the number line, students, we see that 6 is towards the right of the number 2. Hence, 6 is greater than the number 2. Now what we are going to do is we are dividing this 6 and 2, means both sides of the inequalities, with minus 2. So our equation becomes 6 over minus 2 is greater than 2 over minus 2. Now by simple mathematics rule, 6 over minus 2 will give us minus 3. Right hand side of inequality becomes minus 1. But now if we see, students, on the number line, minus 3 is to the left of minus 1. What does that mean? Minus 3 is lesser than minus 1. So students, this symbol that is greater than has to be reversed. We have to write in place of it the sign that is representing less than. So minus 3 is less than minus 1, which is now a true statement. If we won't reverse it, then the statements become false, and we have to avoid this mistake. Let us consider another example. Just consider minus 1 is greater than minus 3, which is the reverse of this. We see that minus 1 is greater than minus 3. Minus 1 is lying to the right on the number line of minus 3. Now what if we multiply both sides of the inequality with certain negative number, that is minus 2 again? Now if you multiply minus 1 with 2, it becomes minus 2 into minus 1 is greater than minus 2 into minus 3. Now if you multiply them on the left hand side, we will get 2. On the right hand side, we will get 6. Now move on to the number line. 2 is towards the left of 6, which means 2 is a smaller number to 6. That we already know that. Now we have to invert sign of greater than with the sign lesser than, which means that the signs have been reversed. So 2 is lesser than 6, which is now a true statement. Else, if I won't change the sign, the statement becomes the false statement, which I don't require, which will falter us and we may lose mark in solving the question. Now what if we multiply or divide with the positive number? Let us consider one more example. 1 is less than 2. 1 is towards the left of 2, so 1 is lesser than 2. Now if we multiply 1 and 2 but with the positive number, so you see that, students, if 1 is multiplied with 2 and the right hand side 2 is multiplied with 2, we will get 2 on the left hand side and 4 on the right hand side. But doing so is not changing the values on the left hand side compared to the right. So the sign, you don't need to change the sign. Sign will remain the same. 2 is lesser than 4, which is now a true statement. Students, the situations where you can make such mistakes or where a student can do the blunder, let us consider this example. You may falter the process and lose marks. X plus 6 is lesser than 3x plus 5. By doing simple algebra, what I have to do, I have to bring this 3x towards left and 6 towards right so that I can have the like terms on the same spots. So I get x minus 3x, which is lesser than 5 minus 6. Now x minus 3x, both like terms, will give us minus 2x, and on the right hand side we get minus 1. Now to get the value of x, I have to divide both sides with minus 2. If I do so, minus 2x will be divided with minus 2, minus 1 will be divided with minus 2. But you see that, students, since I am dividing both sides with minus 2, I have to reverse this sign. So lesser than number, the lesser than sign will be replaced with the sign that represents the greater than. So x is greater than, minus minus will be cancelled out here, 1 over 2 will give you 0.5. Just to pop up in your mind, we know that whenever minus is multiplied or divided on both sides of the inequality, signs must be inverted. That is, the greater sign must be changed with the smaller, or the smaller must be changed with the greater sign. If we illustrate this on the number line, what are we going to get? This is the number line and the values of x are greater than 0.5. 0.5 is somewhere in 0 and 1. So on the number line, our values should go towards the right of this 0.5. It can't be 0.5. X can have any value that is greater than 0.5, means it can has the value 1, 2, 1, 2.1, 3, 3.5, 4, or any value that is greater. And this brings us to the end of today's tutorial. As always, students, thank you very much for watching Mathematics with Usman. See you in another tutorial. Till then, goodbye.